It usually begins at night, not late enough for deep sleep, not early enough for comfort. That quiet hour when the world feels paused, when streetlights hum softly, when houses settle, when you're still awake but you shouldn't be, that's when the knock comes. Not loud, not urgent, not violent. A knock that feels careful, soft, slow, polite. At first, it doesn't scare you. You think it's a neighbor, a delivery mistake, someone lost. So you open the door, and that's when you see them. Not monsters, not shadows, not anything from a nightmare. You see children, young, pale, quiet. And that is exactly what makes it terrifying, because nothing about them makes sense, and everything about them feels wrong. This is the legend of the black-eyed children, one of the most disturbing and unsettling modern horror mysteries in the world. Not an ancient myth, not folklore passed down through centuries. This legend is new. It began in the late 1990s, mostly in the United States, and it continues even now. These stories weren't told by thrill seekers or attention hunters. They were told by ordinary people, parents, drivers, homeowners, police officers, people with stable lives, people with nothing to gain by lying, and despite never meeting each other, they all describe the same thing. Children with completely black eyes, no white, no iris, no pupil, just darkness, solid, endless, empty. One of the earliest and most famous encounters happened in Texas. Late at night, a man sat alone in his car, parked outside a movie theater. The parking lot was nearly empty. The film had just ended. Rain tapped lightly against the windshield. As he reached down to count his change, there was a knock on the driver's side window. Not a bang, not aggressive, just a knock. He looked up. 2 boys stood outside his car, around 10 or 11 years old, wearing hooded sweatshirts, pale skin that almost looked gray under the streetlights. One of them leaned close to the glass and spoke calmly. "Mister, we forgot our money. Can you give us a ride home?" The man felt it instantly. Not panic, not fear. Something deeper, a primal warning, the kind of feeling your body gives you before your mind understands why. Something was wrong, very wrong. Then his eyes adjusted to darkness, and he saw their eyes, solid black, no reflection, no life, no emotion. His body froze. His heart slammed against his chest. Every instinct screamed at him to leave. Without saying a word, he started the engine and drove away. In his rear-view mirror, he saw the boys standing perfectly still, watching. They didn't chase him. They didn't react. They just watched. That wasn't the end. It was the beginning. Over the years, similar encounters began appearing across the United States. And then the UK, different cities, different decades, different people. But the details almost never changed. The children always appeared between dusk and midnight. They never enter a home or vehicle unless invited. They always asked politely, and they always needed permission. "Can we come in? Let us use your phone. We're scared. Please help us." People described an overwhelming sense of dread when near them. Sudden nausea, headaches, chest tightness, unexplainable fear. Animals reacted even worse. Dogs barking violently, cats hissing or hiding, birds going silent. People who refused entry often described immediate relief, as if a weight had been lifted. But those who didn't refuse, their stories became darker, much darker. One woman claimed she let 2 children inside her home after they asked to use the phone. She said the moment they stepped inside, the air felt heavy, cold, wrong. She noticed their eyes only after the door closed behind them. Black, completely black. She tried to speak. Her voice failed. The children didn't touch anything, didn't move, They just stood there, watching. She claimed that later that night, she heard footsteps moving through her house. Slow, deliberate. When she checked, the house was empty, doors locked, windows sealed. But the footsteps continued for weeks. Another encounter came from England. A man driving alone late at night noticed two children standing beside the road. They appeared suddenly, illuminated by his headlights. He slowed down, without opening the doors. They were suddenly inside the car, sitting in the back seat. No doors opened, no sound. He felt cold breath near his neck. When he screamed and slammed the brakes, the car stopped, and the children were gone. No footprints, no marks, just silence. Many who reported encounters described falling violently ill days later. High fevers, blackouts, nightmares that lasted years. Some said they were never the same again. And the most disturbing detail of all, the children never showed emotion. No anger, no sadness, no fear, just calm voices and eyes that stared without blinking. So what are they? Theories vary. Some believe they are ghosts, spirits of children who died violently and now wander. Others believe they are demons, entities that must be invited inside, like ancient folklore warns. Some suggest extraterrestrials, human-looking beings attempting to understand us. But there is a darker theory, one that appears again and again, that the black-eyed children were once human, that something happened to them, something changed them, and now they return night after night, trying to enter homes, because they are no longer welcome anywhere else. Skeptics argue the stories are hoaxes, urban legends, misidentified medical conditions. But no known medical condition turns the entire eye completely black, corner to corner, and no explanation exists for the consistency. Why do people from different countries describe the same details? Why do the encounters feel real enough to cause physical illness? And why do the children always need permission? One former police officer shared his encounter anonymously. During a late-night patrol, he saw two children standing under a streetlight. He said the light dimmed when they stepped forward. His radio filled with static. His chest tightened with sudden fear. When he refused to approach, the children walked backward, never turning around, and disappeared into the darkness. To this day, no confirmed footage exists. Cameras fail, batteries die, phones glitch, as if something doesn't want to be recorded. The black-eyed children remain one of the most chilling mysteries of modern times because they feel close, too close. They don't live in ancient ruins. They don't hide in forests. They come to doors. They knock. And if you ever hear that knock at night, if a soft voice asks to be let in, look at their eyes. And whatever you do, don't invite them inside.